Hello sword fans! So today I am doing another video quite recently. I don't usually do them this close together, usually I'm terrible at it. But I have something in my hands for a few days and I thought that I should show you. This was in my last video, but I think this deserves its own video. So I'm doing this one, a little 5-10 minute introduction to what it is, and then I'm doing a point of view video, which will be a short, just so you can see what it looks like to hold. So, I'm going to be talking about the Osborn and Gunby version of the 1796. This sabre was an experimental or prototype sabre manufactured by Osborn and Gunby, Osborn being one of the most spectacular sword makers of his period, along with the greats like Prosser. And he developed this sword, and its whole purpose is to be a fencer's weapon. So, if I step back, you will see that I have a point, rather than just having a curved slashing blade, such as these behind me. So, to a lesser extent, that piece and that piece have thrusting blades, but sabres of the 1788 and 1796 style tended to be very cut-centric, to the point where they may not even penetrate clothing, because you can't get on point. You need to stab around, you need to work with the curve. But this piece, this 1796 Osborn and Gunby variant, in absolutely spectacular condition, may I say, that is going straight in. I mean, this sword it's a cutter, but I mean, I have to say this, it is all about penetration. So this sword can, well, come on point is the term that I would use. So in a guard, somewhat like this, so don't feel threatened, this sword can instantly, with a small flick of the wrist, and that is pointing at you. From the side, that looks like, from a hanging guard, boom. And it is threatening in the thrust. So it is a fencer's weapon that was designed for light cavalry, who are typically hit and run, slash and go soldiers. This sword was never adopted. There are not many of these around. I have owned, I believe, 3 or 4. This one I've only had for a short period of time as I sourced it for someone, and it is wonderful. I am actually going to be looking for one for myself, because it has been a while since I've had one of these for a decent period of time. This has been with me for less than a month and I haven't even been home to enjoy it. So that is the Osborn and Gunby. This light cavalry sabre, exactly the same profile as the 1796 light cavalry. They have a double fullered blade, hopefully you can see that. Let me try to get my face in here. If I have to do this, you have to suffer through this too. So, hopefully the focus is there. There is a long double fuller. It is gorgeous, ending in a sweet clipped point. These clip points you don't really see much on British swords, but when you do, you know the person who owned it had immense style, because the Italians have clip points, and whilst we may not like their swords, they definitely had style. And this is a hard sword to hold and not talk about, because I just want to talk about how good it feels, but I can't. It's like doing a food show and trying to explain to you how it tastes. This feels right. I like these, this 1788 being my favourite, but all of these are made to such a wonderful specification that they all feel correct. And what else is there to talk about? Oh, this is purely an officer's weapon as well. These were not made for troopers. This is a officers only piece, and understandable since British officers were largely thrust-centric fencers. They would learn how to fight with épées and foils, and the 1796 infantry was made to look like an épée or foil because British officers didn't often train with weapons because they did it at school. Why would you need to? This video is going to be a lot of me just staring wistfully at this sword, wishing I could keep it, but I will be getting one for myself. So, hopefully this has been worth its own video. Just a quick comparison in curvature, similar to the Brun, not close to this Osborn. So this Osborn is slightly more curved and has the hatchet point. Somewhat similar to this unnamed piece. That is an Indian piece, doesn't really count. This one, this 21st Dragoons one, very similar. And it is almost identical to that 1788, which, if you get that off the wall and hold that next to each other, very similar. This one even has almost a clipped point where it's been cut down. And if I can show, these both have double fullers, but completely unrelated swords. This one being my favourite sabre in my collection. This was on loan until recently and just came back to me. Carefully place that down. Or actually, shameless plug, Matthew Ford's spectacular magnetic hanging system. How cool is that? So, to finish off, the 1796, Osborn and Gunby light cavalry sabre for officers only. It is, in my opinion, one of the best British swords ever made. And if you can afford one, you should buy one, which is something I will be doing very soon. Yeah, take it easy. Hope you enjoy and keep an eye out for the point of view video.